transatlantic slave trade extended right across the West African coast. A fertile stretch